Welcome to All Things Retreat Podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. Glad you're joining us today. Hopefully you will leave with some inspiration and new ideas on how you can move your retreat business forward. Today, we're going to be talking about leadership, and I have a great guest, Simon Kardynal. He's a Canadian leader, proud dad, and a 26-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces. His career spans from infantryman to senior leader in aircraft maintenance. And today he's passionate about helping emerging leaders build strong foundations. He's also the host of his own podcast show called Leadership Podcast, or called Trench Leadership, excuse me. Welcome to the show, Simon.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is a real pleasure. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I know. I was a guest on Simon's show and I thought, wow, that he'd be a great guest for us because retreat leaders have leader in the name. So why wouldn't we talk about leadership?
It just makes sense.
It does make sense. So he's going to put his little retreat thinking leader cap on today, and I'll probably give him some questions. I don't think they'll stump him because he's a leader and he knows how to step up to the plate and lead.
I hope so. Anyways, I hope that's what people think. Thank you so much for having me. Before we get into it, do you mind if I just take 2 seconds and dispel some Canadian myths?
Absolutely.
All right. So the first one is this. Many people think, I don't want to lump everyone into it. Canada is known for being a polite country. Very, very polite. And sure, I would argue that most people are polite. But you do not want to cross a Canadian while we're driving. If you cut us off, you'll see a certain finger, probably 2 of them, flying up at you. And there'll be some headlights flashing and stuff. And yeah, that's when our Canadian road rage really kicks in. So they're not always pleasant. It's interesting. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Maple syrup. I don't like maple syrup. I don't know what the big deal is. They'll probably yank my Canadian card for that, but it's worth it. Not good. Also,
it's the best in oatmeal. What do you mean?
Maybe in oatmeal for sure. And little drizzles and stuff. But maybe we go crazy up here. We put maple syrup on everything, and I just don't get it. Also, poutine. It's just a lump of cheese and some gravy and potatoes. Not that great. Not according to me.
I've never had it.
Yeah, well, next time when you come up to Ottawa, we'll go get you some. You'll need a nap afterwards, but it's great. It's a lot of fun. And the last thing is, no one in Canada says about. It's not a word. We don't say it. We all say about. It's just a thing. So.
Okay. Yeah, so when I hear it, it's just me not hearing it right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's not us.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Well, I'm glad we clarified all that.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting me get that out there. I love to spread the word.
I love it. Well, okay. You ready to get into a few questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this.
Okay. So you spent over 26 years spending years in the Canadian Armed Forces. What did leadership look like for you in the early days versus later in your career?
I will be as brief as I can be. That is a loaded question.
It is.
So I joined way back in 1994, and at the time, honestly, what did it look like then? I don't really know because I was a private. My job was to do what I was told, and I was moderately good at that. And so the thing was that my perception was that it was a very gruff, and especially in the infantry, it was very gruff. It was very quiet. That is the sergeant, that is the thing. And the chain of command was very clearly defined. And because of that, it was easy to be a private. I just did what I was told. And that was it. That was the end of it. And the way we went. But when I joined the Air Force, because there's a program where we can switch our trades and get retrained, I did that. And all of a sudden, I'm a technician in an entirely different world in the Canadian Air Force, the Royal Canadian Air Force. Okay. And all of a sudden, I went from being told what to do to people asking me what I think, and I'm only a corporal, which is just 1 rank higher. In the infantry, that corporal rank matters, but in the Air Force, it still matters, but it's different because the Air Force tends to look at things, especially in the air maintenance trades, in a more collaborative approach, meaning a great example would be a corporal, a master corporal, and sergeant. So the next 3 ranks are all standing around this airplane. They're trying to figure out how to fix it. It could very well be that corporal is going to have the best answer and the most experience simply because they've been on that airframe longer. The sergeant and the master corporal are brand new posted in, and they just don't know anything about the airplane. Even though they're higher ranks, it doesn't matter because we're looking at the level of experience. Now, in the infantry, the sergeant is going to win 150% of the time because they've all been doing the same thing. They're all infantry sergeants, and the infantry is the same with the RCRs, with the Vandu, with the PPCLI here in Canada. It's the same as the same. Little
Okay.
differences, but you get the idea. So that was then. So it was very gruff. And the other thing is we just didn't talk about our emotions. That was for silly people. And we just buried everything down. That never worked, but that's what it was then. Now it's very, very different. The Canadian military has gone through some significant culture changes, and we had no choice because we were treating people very, very poorly, especially, if I can be completely blunt, especially if they weren't white men. That's just a fact. There was a club there, and until very recently, that club pretty much got to do what they wanted to do. And it was not, I don't want to say it was accepted, but certainly eyes were turned the other direction. Not good, fortunately. And it's taken a long time. We're talking about 15, 20 years so far of significant changes happening, of forcing culture changes that was being just ripped out of the hands of the people that were really enjoying the benefits of it. And finally, that's all moved on. And we have, I believe, turned that corner. We've changed towards a culture that is truly more collaborative and understanding that not everyone needs to look the same and feel the same and think the same. Certain times in the military that's required, but not all the time. So now it's much, much better. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. But the great thing is the military is doing its very best to stay ahead of it and keep learning and understand that culture is not something you fix and you walk away. Culture is something that is always evolving. If you think you fixed your culture, you haven't, you're behind. And that's something that took the military a long time to get to. Wow. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but it's a broad topic.
Well, I feel like you kind of like opened the curtain and let us peek behind just a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well,
go check it out in the news. It's crazy.
I know you probably have a lot of lessons, but what's one that you can think of from the military that most civilians completely misunderstand?
And we're talking about leadership specific, right? I guess.
Leadership lessons.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I would say is to remember that when you're going along and doing your things, to not make any assumptions about what you're doing. And we're all doing that all the time. It doesn't matter what you're happening, what you've got going on. You are making assumptions, and that's okay. I'm not saying assumptions are bad. It's about recognizing when it's happening. And the great thing about the military is when we are building our plans, we are going out of our way to try and think about every possible scenario that could happen and come up with a plan, and then a backup plan, and then a backup to the backup plan. Now, of course, you're never going to capture everything because sometimes things are just weird. But that need to be prepared and understanding about it helps military members look broader than just the plan that's happening. And it helps us to ask questions. Understand that if we don't know, we're going to go there. And we have to ask those questions. I will say, though, the challenge, and I found this in the private industry, is the private industry has a better opportunity to say, well, what don't we know? They ask that question. Whereas the military is not good at that because it's like admitting you're weak. So we have to figure that out, and we go and we do it. So the strength is that we can look, but maybe not as far broadly as we need to.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. This will be a really good one for retreat leaders, because as we bring them in, first time coming, you're bringing a group into your retreat. How would you suggest they build trust quickly with that group of people if they've just met them?
A lot of people, it's a great question. I'll start by saying that. A lot of people poo-poo on icebreakers. And I did too. I thought, this is a waste of time. I don't get the point. Until I did an icebreaker that was not related to the military. And I said, okay, I see the value in this. So I will say icebreakers, but specific icebreakers. My recommendation is the person leading the group would be to find out what people like to do, and then find something that they don't like to do and do the thing they don't like to do and see how they're going to force people to work together. Put people on edge a little bit, not terribly, but just enough to know that they're on their heels. Often when I'm running these types of things, I set up some type of baking challenge. Okay, you're all going to make some cookies, figure it out, and come up with the recipe. And they got to go and they got to figure it out. And usually the cookies are not bad. Sometimes they're incredible. And I've had a couple that tipped my tongue and they fell right back on the floor, but that's also fun too. Because it's not about whether it's a good cookie or not. It's about how they came up with it together. And the person leading that group, you really get to see group dynamics when they're under stress. They've got to get it done and they've got to come up with everything. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Icebreakers would have been top of my list too. I think that's always a good way to do a group. So what's the difference between guiding people and trying to fix them?
Yeah. So guiding people, that's also so many good questions. Guiding people, in my opinion, is taking that person on a journey and helping them find the way on that path. It might be dark. I like to imagine as dark as just the sun setting. You can see the path, but it's starting to get hard to see. And we are helping that member follow that path, stay on the trail. And the other, what was the other one? Was guiding
people and trying to fix them.
Oh yeah, trying to fix them. So that is you saying, okay, we're going on a path. let's go. And when we get here, pay attention. And when we get here, you're fixed. That is us being very directive in how it's going to happen. Sometimes sometimes that's what's needed. Often, though, if we're at a retreat for leaders, it's about helping them get to those points. It's about helping them see that they don't know what they're doing. And that's okay. Being comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, you're assuming they're broken. Like, according to who are they broken?
Exactly. Maybe we should ask a question. Staying curious it's in my personal leadership mission statement, and it's the basic tenet of all things leadership. If you don't ask questions, you are not leading, you're managing. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah. That sounds like I'm sitting in a sales training. That's the same advice.
Well, I must be onto something.
Be curious and ask questions. So you've led in high pressure environments. How do you see that translating into leading a retreat experience?
Well, I often high pressure environment is created because something goes haywire. Yeah. And I have to assume that in a retreat, you can have the best laid plans, but then all of a sudden one of the kitchen staff gets sick. So one of your concierge people is not working well. All of a sudden it rains too bad, or the boats sink, or whatever. You don't know, the power goes out. You can plan for all those things, but I can tell you where I've been in situations where the power went out. We said, okay, well, no big deal. We'll go to the generator. We go to the generator. The generator's out of fuel. We go to the backup generator. It's missing, and it's the middle of winter, and people are getting cold. What do? We couldn't plan for that. We figured it out, and it didn't look fun, but we got it. And basically what it meant was 30 men, grown men, huddled together under a bunch of blankets until we could get some backup. So we figured it out, and we got it. And that's the thing. I think my recommendation would be to remember that as you're figuring out those plans, they don't need to be perfect. Really, all you're doing is you're assuring your team that you are doing something. It might not be the best plan, and that's okay. And my second piece of advice would be if someone comes to you with an idea, it's okay if it's their idea. All that matters is you have an idea that everyone is safe, and we're figuring it out. Doesn't matter where it comes from. So be open to those plans.
I keep hearing the word in my head as you're saying that. Be the best cheerleader for someone else. Like, you just were that for me. Before we started the show, I'll just say I'm launching International Retreat Association next week. And so high stress, all tabs are open on my computer, which crashed earlier, and there's a lot going on. And what did you share? Let's share what you said to me.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you. I'm blushing a little tiny bit right now. So what I said was things are going to go awry. You will experience mistakes. That's just the way it's going to be. But you are equipped to handle it. You have been doing this a long time. You know what you need to do, and you know you can roll with those punches. So just do it. You are more than enough, and you've got every right to be at that table. So just go and crush it. You can do it.
And thank you for that. And it just fit right into what we were just talking about. And as a retreat leader and leaders listening, it's like, you're right. Things are going to go wrong. We already know that, right? How you handle them, how you react to the situations is going to be a true leadership skill. And being people's cheerleader, like, I feel like retreat leaders are cheerleaders. I feel like that's a huge role. Like that should be your tag.
Oh, I totally agree.
Head cheerleader.
Absolutely.
Get rid of all the high school stuff that we always believed behind it. And let's just say it for what it is now, right?
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, they were right. They were onto something.
What do you think separates a good leader from a truly great one in your experience?
I think that's a good question. I think a truly inspirational, great, phenomenal, amazing leader is the person who's doing it and doesn't know they're doing it. They're just in it. I think a great leader can know they're doing a good job. Like, yeah, this is going really well. This is fantastic. And they're aware of it. But that person that transcends into that next role, they have no idea. They're just in it. It's like this Zen moment, and they're just kind of floating along. And you can always tell when that person's in it because everyone else is watching and going, what is happening there? And it's like they're floating on the ground, and you just know it. And everything just makes sense. And it's incredible to watch. It's rare, but those moments are beautiful to see. I have yet to do it. I'll get there.
That's awesome. Many retreat leaders, they're amazing. They know their craft. They're great at what they do. But there's personality styles that are involved in this, or maybe they're an introvert. They're struggling with leading people. Okay. Let's just use that scenario. Yeah. What advice would you give them?
Well, I think if they're struggling, my advice would be to remember why you got into that position. Like, most often, I don't want to say always, but most often, we don't get put into our first leadership roles because of our proven leadership skill set. We get put into those first roles because of our proven technical skill set. And the example I love to use is, I'm an aircraft grade welder. So imagine there's 5 of us around, and they come up to me and say, "Hey, Simon, you're the best welder on this team. You must be able to lead those other 3 welders." There's no guarantee of that. All I've proven is that I can run a bead. So how do we know we do that? Then you get put in there and then the testing starts. It's going to be okay if you struggle. It's going to be okay when you make those mistakes. It's going to be okay when you do them again and again. What matters is that how you choose to get up from that and learn from those things. Are you gonna let that be the thing that crushes you, or are you gonna let that thing that helps you learn and refine those skills? I have had, especially when I was a new master corporal, our first formal position of leadership, I made so many mistakes. I still say to this day, I had no right being in that rank level. None whatsoever. I was not prepared for it, and I got better. But I was not a good, in my opinion, I was not a good master corporal. I was a better sergeant because I was aware I struggled in that first rank level. That's okay. I figured it out. I mean, I'm a chief warrant officer now, so I must have been doing something all right.
Yeah. Well, in that awareness, I think accountability and awareness has to come in the leadership picture somewhere. And that's how we learn and that's how we grow. And that's why you got better.
Yeah, exactly. Tasha Eurich wrote a book called Inspiration, and she talks about the surprising truths around feedback and understanding the importance of self-awareness. I just finished that book, and the whole time I'm like, yes, oh yeah, incredible. And it teaches us the importance of understanding we need to look at ourselves. We need to look inwardly and accept the fact that there's going to be some stuff we don't like. There's going to be some things that will make us cringe, but there are a lot of things that we get to be super proud of.
Yeah.
Human nature is fight or flight, and often the runaway portion is us being the nuclear options and telling ourselves we don't deserve to be there. We don't deserve a seat at that table. Why am I here? Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Imposter syndrome. We've earned that right. You can trust yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Retreats often involve emotional or transformational moments. How should leaders handle those responsibly?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I guess it would really depend on what's happening. I would suggest that the leader really needs to be in tune with the vibe of the group. Is it a joyous group? Can we laugh? Can we think? Or are people taking it really, really seriously and really deeply? Okay, that's fine. Figure that out. And then take the pulse of the group, and the leader runs with that. Because remember, leading isn't about being in charge of this. Leading is about understanding where it is and helping it go on the path you can see it going towards. Yeah. And so if they're going that route, let it go. Let it do its thing. If they're laughing, laugh. If they're not, don't. Just figure it out. The only thing I'd say is if you see 10 people over here and they're laughing and there's number 11's not, maybe you take a moment and figure that out. There might be a reason why.
Yeah. Definitely being in tune with your audience in any case, for sure. I love that. How's becoming a father influence the way that you lead and show up in the world?
Many ways. So being a father in general has made me a better human being and a better person, for sure. I have a daughter, and my 24-year-old lives out in Vancouver, British Columbia, I'm in Eastern Canada. She's as far west as you can get. Oh, wow. And yeah, it breaks my heart. She's a good kid. But what it reminded me is that, how do I put this? You know what? Don't be a jerk. Like when I was younger, I was a bit of a misogynistic prick. To be completely honest, I hate to put it out there. I was just immature. And having a daughter made me realize that, everyone is equal. Like everyone has these things. I was unaware of the privilege that I had for being a Caucasian male. And all of a sudden I'm seeing my daughter, she's growing up there. People are trying to hold her back simply because she's not a Caucasian male. And that infuriated me. And that made me realize we need to be better people. We need to open our eyes to everything that's out there and accept that just because we're a little bit different doesn't make us wrong, doesn't make us better or worse, just makes us different. And those differences are strengths. They are not weaknesses. My daughters teach me that all the time, and I'm very lucky.
Yeah. Our kids are our biggest lessons. We raised 8. And they're all adults now. It's like
crazy, right?
Lots of lessons.
That's a lot of lessons. I've got one. I don't know how you do that.
19 grandkids. Now we've got a few that have graduated from high school that are grandkids, and now we're seeing that step of life. And it's definitely challenges your skills all the time.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
So did you have you seen a difference in how your leadership showed up between your children and your grandchildren?
Oh yeah. I feel like, I want a do-over. I don't want to live teenagers again. We had like 7 in the house one time. It was nuts. Yeah, definitely. But I'm not so quick to give advice to my adult parent children because they get to figure it out on their own, but I try to say healing things like the grandkids, if they're struggling or if they say something about the parent, especially if they're teenagers. It's like, I always try to think of like healing moments, like a different perspective. Oh, well, when this happened, or I try to think of a story of what their parent did to me, and try to just like have them see it from, oh yeah, they were a teenager too once. I remember my mom saying in that, she said, this is my first time being a parent. You didn't come with an instruction book. We're just figuring it out as we go. And isn't that the truth with all parents? And I think sometimes the children don't realize that until they become parents themselves. And they're like, oh, wow, what did I learn? Or I'm not going to be anything like my parent. And then you're exactly like your parent in your parenting.
Oh yeah. I have a quick story if I may. So I'm a little bit, particular in how I like certain things done around the house. Some would say just a smidge of OCD, but I'm definitely particular, and especially when it comes to loading the dishwasher. I am so sick of pulling a fork out of the thing and it's get covered in stuff because they were sitting behind each other. And so my daughter and I would do the dishes often, and she would just basically throw them in from the other side of the house. And of course, where they landed is where they landed. And I would lose my mind when I'd go to empty the dishwasher and there's just stuff everywhere, and half of them get rewashed again. So I would, being the typical dad that I started, I'd go and tell her, hey, this is what it is. Eventually it got to the point where I'd see it like that. I'd take everything out of the dishwasher, throw it in the sink, go upstairs, get her out of bed, take her back downstairs, clean this. And this is why you need to line everything up. And it was perfect. It's beautiful. I'm happy. And she is giving me super scowls. Flash forward. Now she's in Vancouver. She's living with her boyfriend in her house, or in the condo. They have a mini dishwasher. And she, through training and programming, some could say, she has learned how to do that. And her boyfriend has never loaded a dishwasher before. So he's now just throwing them in there. And she's losing her mind. And so I'm talking to her on the phone one day. She's like, Dad, I can't believe I have to say this, but I think you were right. I understand why you were doing that with the dishwasher. I was like, yes, I knew it.
There was a ending to my madness.
Exactly. Yeah, it was good.
That's
a good
funny.
moment.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, we could talk about them all day. Well, okay, I got just a couple little fast rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Okay.
All right. No answers incorrect. Just whatever's top of mind. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee. 100% of the time.
One word that describes great leadership.
Inspiration. Impact.
Discipline or motivation?
Intertwined, I think.
I know your answer to this one. Book or podcast?
Oh, podcast. All day, every day. Yeah.
Run or ride?
Run.
All right. Biggest strength as a leader?
Oh, sorry, you cut it for just one split second there.
Biggest strength as a leader?
Empathy.
Good one. Okay, I'm going to put your website in the show notes. Any last words for our listeners?
Well, just thank you for the time for this. This has been fantastic. If anyone is interested in reaching out, my contact information is inside the website. You could go to trenchleadership.ca. My email's all in there, all that different stuff. If you really want to just have a personal one, hit me on LinkedIn. That's the #1 place I use it. Simon Kardynal or Trench Leadership, a podcast from the front.
Okay, and that'll be the show notes as well. So we'll make sure you can do that. So Perfect. Yeah, if you want to talk to Simon a little deeper on leadership, he's a great one, and it's been a great show, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your words of wisdom with our listeners.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Well, you're great. All right. Okay, everybody, till next time. We'll see you then. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess. Get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.